ICMP Radio. If you were with us for our first two attempts this morning, thank you for sticking with us. I don't know what is going on with my visuals. But yeah, so we're having a special morning episode today because some of us, not me, but some of us on the team have a life. And they have plans this evening, so we're doing it in the morning. But I gotta admit, I don't mind. I kind of like it. Even though chat with friends, it's not so bad. It's not so bad. All right, Lauren, I'm accepting. Fingers crossed, everyone, that you guys can join. I looked at the footage from the last little clip, and even though I can't see you, it's recording you both. So if I still can't see you, that's fine. At least everyone else can see. Yeah, I still can't see you, but I know at least it's going to record you.
Okay.
So, are you both on?
Yeah, I'm on. Can you see me?
No.
No. I can see you perfectly up on my tablet, though.
Well, that's fine, as long as the people can see.
Yeah.
And as long as, like, when it records all of us.
You're looking especially photogenic today.
Oh, thank you, Dash. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I just took like 2 seconds to put a little bit of cover up on and some lipstick.
Right.
But
nothing wrong with that. I got a little glamorous myself. I threw a little product up in the hair.
Oh, I'm sure you look fantastic. I can't see you. I'm sure Lauren looks fly. Lauren always looks fly.
I
don't
never
know
worry about y'all. It's always me I worry about aesthetically, you know. Ladies,
Oh.
I'm comfortable with y'all gonna show up looking right. It's me that I'll be like, all right, make sure I'm not just wearing any old thing up on there. Like
Lauren, I can see you, but I can't see Dash.
Oh.
Dash, can you try leaving and coming back? Maybe it's working now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I come out. Well, I just press this exit.
Yeah.
Never too much, never too much.
So speaking of birthdays, because I was saying next month is my birthday month. This month was Lauren's birthday month.
Hey.
Yes.
And she got to celebrate her birthday going to see Queen Bee.
Hey.
Yes. It was, you guys, I had tickets for tomorrow's show. And I
to Beyonce?
sold them. To Beyonce, yeah, I sold them.
What? So you had 2 pairs of tickets? Okay.
I'm in the agency. Secret service. And there are people that have been to even more shows, but I did not want to sully my Dallas birthday weekend experience. Excuse me, the tickets I got for the Kansas City show, the seats weren't as good as they were because I got Club Renaissance tickets. So I was in the pit for the Dallas show. So I just decided that driving to Kansas City, Missouri, going for the show and coming back because it's a new month, new quarter for me at work, like would just be difficult. And then the girl that I was going with, my hairdresser, bless her heart, she's taking her daughter for her birthday. She's originally from Kansas, and she would stay like an extra couple days, and I just can't. I'd have to do like a flight or something. So I just was like, nope. And I sold my ticket. I upcharged just a little bit. I mean, a little bit, I made less than $100 upcharge. Because I did the same for Houston, and I still am standing 10 toes down on my decision.
Oh no, that might have been a bad one. That Houston show.
No, that's Hive Energy. That's Hive Energy because I had got my pre-sale code and I got my Houston tickets They were in section 200. They weren't floor, but they were like lower level.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, these will work. Well, I got them because I was paranoid. I kept getting in different carts because all I wanted to be for any of this Renaissance World Tour was in Club Renaissance. Like, that's where I wanted to be able to, I wanted that, right? So I kept trying different places. So as soon as I got Club Rennie tickets in Dallas, what did I do? I took my tickets that I purchased in Houston. This is high energy. This is why good energy flows. And I turned around and I sold them immediately without upcharge at face value 2 tickets.
You're a good
Good
friend.
job.
Quick.
Good job.
Friend of me.
Quick.
So speaking of, for some reason, another name that's been linked with Beyonce is a lot lately. I don't know why they've been comparing them. We talked a little bit about it last time. With
just mention, don't do them together. Just say that girl who also had a tour going on.
So the girl who also had a tour going on now has a new football boyfriend.
Well,
And
she is the white Beyonce. She is the white Beyonce.
I guess for them,
Yeah.
you know, bless it.
I guess that's one way to put it.
Do
Whatever. I like Taylor Swift.
Me
I don't
too.
care. I don't care.
her.
I like Taylor. Her songs are catchy as fuck, and I enjoy them.
I really get it. It's just not.
You just don't like the
for me
comparison.
personally,
Yes.
I don't like the comparison, but I'm not a super fan. So her songs that I hear on like the radio or like the shake, shake, shake it off, those are the ones I know. If it's like a TikTok trend, those are also maybe the ones I know because there was one that I just did it. I just am not. I don't know if it's like.
But yeah, I mean that's kind of my level too. It's like I know all her radio songs,
Like,
the
but I don't
TikTok
know
ones,
any.
or like edits, like the ones that are like people have been using a lot. That's how I got "Don't Blame Me" stuck in my head because 500 people
Still
used
don't know
it
that
for
song.
stuff.
No.
Yeah,
But
and I found out
she
it's like
does
3 years old.
I know she does one that's like. I don't know the words, but
I was about to say she got like 4 songs that got that same melody.
well, you know.
Anyways,
I gotta
but
listen
so
to her
she
Red
is
album.
dating. So she is dating Travis right now, and I'm not a huge football person, so I didn't know who he was. But what I find hilarious, yes, he's a tight end. What I find hilarious is that there's this trend going on now.
Kansas City.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's okay. So there's this trend going on now where like women are telling their boyfriends and husbands that Taylor is putting him on the map, and these guys are losing it. And it is so funny. It's so funny to watch. I understand their frustration though, right? Because we do live in a world where people tend to think that people only matter when they're kind of like on their radar. And so like if you weren't paying attention to football, you don't really know who he is. But in the football world, he's a huge deal. That would be like, that's like when someone who doesn't pay attention to Bravo is like, who's Andy Cohen? We're like, what do you mean? Who's Andy? So like, I get it. I get why they're flipping out. You're right.
But okay, and maybe I get it. I'm not a sports person.
Right.
No, Travis Kelce is known.
Not. But
if you watch the NFL, you know who he is.
I have seen and known kind of who he was. Like not.
He dated the housewife.
I didn't.
You did?
Know that.
Yeah.
I've only seen him because he's hot in dances, so he's been in stuff. Yeah.
Like I would see him on the trends where it'd be like, you have this, and then it would flash.
You have like the glasses.
Walking, and it's tailored, right?
Yeah.
I knew who he was. I knew that he played football. Then I recognized him even more from the Super Bowl. I don't live under a rock.
I do.
Because there were Kelsey brothers
Yeah.
that were
His
playing
brother played for my
against
team.
each other.
Well, I heard about the brothers. I had no clue who the brothers were, but he has a documentary now.
Yep,
the podcast.
Yeah, so I started looking on TikTok on their videos because I would be like, siblings, right? So it's like I knew who he was. The irritation that's happening between the two on the joke that like Taylor is putting him on the map, I don't understand because this could be such a bonding moment if the one side is a Swiftie and he's a Kelsey. It could be like a ski. You know what I mean?
I mean, I think it can be and will be. I just think that like when someone who's a big deal to you, someone comes and is like, they're not a big deal. This kind of like I was saying with Andy. Like, let's say Andy started dating, I don't know, some sports person. I can't think of any right now. But like, and let's say Andy started dating some sports person or whatever, and then people were like,
Right.
"Oh, that person really put Andy Cohen on the map." We'd be like, "You've lost your mind. He has been on the map for a while, but he's been on our map." You know what I mean? Like,
I
we'd
see
be
what
like,
you're
"What?"
saying.
No,
Dash, how are you taking all of this, Dash?
see,
How are you taking the
that's why I'm gonna get to it.
infiltration?
Like Taylor is making him hot though. Like she is making him hotter than fish grease because his jersey sales have went up 400% since they started
Absolutely.
dating. Kansas City Chief games are all being sold out in every state. I mean, she coming to the Jets game on Sunday, and they supposed to be traffic in New York because of her arrival. So I'm like, she making them hot, like in
I
the
mean,
streets. He
Absolutely.
wasn't
I think it
before.
was hot, but like them to. It's not even because Taylor, when she does date someone, like she does elevate them, right? It puts them on
Yeah.
just a
And he
bigger stage.
already a star,
And he's
so it's
already
like,
a star. This could be.
no, it's good for his personal life
This could
and
be
his
the making
his finances.
of our new, our new Giselle and Tom.
Mm,
This
kind of.
could be.
Yeah. Yeah.
This gonna be
I
Taylor
mean,
and
I like
Travis
them
though.
together.
This not gonna be Travis and Taylor. This always gonna be Taylor and Travis. Like as much as I love Travis and he gonna go down as the greatest tight end in NFL history, he ain't on Taylor level. Like
No.
Oh, yeah,
it's still
absolutely.
levels to this shit. Like
You'd have to know
And
that.
I feel like that would be understandable. I feel
You have to
like
know that.
you know how you're like, oh, this could be a bonding moment. I think if it wasn't, obviously it's for a joke, but if they were like, hey, Taylor's leveling him up, Taylor's blah blah blah, I think they would be less sensitive to it than she's putting him on the map, because she's putting him on the map insinuates that no one knows who he is, that he's nothing when he's not. You know what I mean?
now she leveling them up financially, but looks wise,
In
his
every way, yeah.
ex-girlfriend Caleb, I think that was her name, Caleb Williams. Now she leveled him up looks wise because back a couple years ago he had that drip, like where I was like, damn, white boy, you know what I'm saying? You might be able to run with us, like
very farmer looking.
Yeah,
I don't like
like he killing me with that. He killing me with that. I need him to get the bear back. Let the goatee hang again, like because he was doing it. I'm like, all right, white boy got a little swag. I might be able to go get a bear with him. Like now he
well,
like, nah.
I'm happy that those two found love, but unfortunately, not everybody found love. In fact, this month we had a couple celebrity splits. Yeah. What's up with your man Jeezy? Why'd he split from our girl Janae? What's up with that?
Who, Jeannie?
Yeah, Jeannie.
Yeah. So it's been reported now. Well, at first it was being reported it was because of Mario Lopez, and
Mario Lopez.
Yeah, they were saying that Jeannie and Mario had a little secret affair going on at first,
and they denied it implicitly.
Yeah, they denied it implicitly. So now
I didn't hear that.
It's just different lifestyle choices on how they wanted to raise the kid, how they seen life. Like Jeezy, for as much celebrity as he has, he's a very private celebrity. He don't like to be in the mix all like that. Jeannie, her preference was to be in the mix, like taking this child to school.
She came up.
That. Yeah, but for him, it's like I'm a big celebrity doing it. Like that's what got the daters. And it's like different things that probably should have before they got married. They started popping early on in this marriage, and it just led to them difficulties. They don't say that she was hard.
What I find interesting or curious about is she's always in the captain team. I don't want kids. That's my point.
Team like on the side too, but I'm like,
what?
You ain't heard like her on the side? Like, because they keep her mean and lean.
Context.
Yeah.
I'm getting her on that.
Anyway, so she I don't want kids. And then once they were married, they had a kid, and she's like, it changed. But what I'm curious about is if it really changed before they got married, and therefore they had those conversations you should have when you're thinking about having kids with somebody, or if they got married and they were so in love that either they accidentally got pregnant or they got pregnant, and were like, let's do this. But now they're running into problems with how they're raising the kids because they didn't have those conversations that would normally be had before you got married. Like, I wonder if that's what's happening.
Well, it could be, But it also could be, and this is hashtag, in being around the moms and the couples that I know, and I'm sure y'all know, like, I really think it's not a good thing about it is really that when you have a baby, children grow into adult little people. They're people. It really changes everything. I mean, like, you're tired, like, people are tired, resentment, hours, like, dynamics are changing. It is another being, and it's really hard. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like, I mean, my friends,
I feel like sometimes nobody like gets that.
Babies year one, like they don't even halfway fuck with each other. Like they do, but they don't. But like they do. It's
still getting to know each other.
Like I think on a whole other level. You know what I mean? Think about first month, mom's rocking a diaper. Like let's be real, it's real. And I think that at that point you're tired. You're also, you know, I think you got to really choose to be like, I'm sticking beside you. I think couples really do that because I think becoming new parents is extremely difficult. And I think it could be growing pains, you know, I don't know.
Yeah. And it seems also though, like it's so
quick.
Yeah.
Right?
But
like it makes me feel like it must be something like more than what we're hearing. Cause I feel like they just, and obviously we don't know their relationship, but like you said, because they are a new marriage and because it's a new mother thing, just knowing her over the years from watching her and stuff, like I feel like she's the type where it was like, if it was just growing pains, they would try to make it work. Like they'd be like, this is a rough patch. Let's see what we can do. But the fact that they are so quick to get divorced makes me feel like maybe something more.
It's not quick on their end. It's quick on his end because he filed for the divorce.
Yeah.
It caught her off guard. Like she was surprised by the news.
Right.
So,
yeah. So it's quick on his
end. She fighting.
Sophie Turner and Joe Jonas.
Which is the next split. Perfect transition. So that split is I'm kind of sad to see because they were like a cute little, they seem like cute, quirky little couple. But I don't know, that's as much thought as I put into it. Like, oh. But those lies, so didn't it start with him lying and saying something about her and the kids?
Yeah, I can go. Let me get this. Can I spit it out there so we get this first? Let me preface this with this is a Queen of the North house over here.
Yeah.
This is a Sophie Turner house over here.
Have you seen the TikTok with the couple talking about that?
No.
I'll send it to you.
With the red hair, Pearl Mania. But yes, this is the Queen of the North here.
Yeah. We're Team Sophie.
Details, I'm Team Jonas over here.
Oh Lord, of course you are, Dash. Of course you are.
Childhood bands that wasn't in the boy band level, to me, be damned.
Yeah.
So what happens is they're together. They're this like couple. They're like, you know,
picking and bobbing.
You know, she has 2 kids and she hasn't been working.
No, they have 2 kids together.
They get married. They have these 2 babies and she hasn't been working. Game of Thrones is over. She's been staying at home, being the mom, going on tour, following the band around, like being, you know, okay. Yeah. It's been a couple years, right? Sophie's getting back to work because they both have things that they love to do. Okay. I'm just to be clear, these are optics. Also, you know, Joe Jonas likes to go out, and I'm going to throw in the blind items shortly. So this past month, it starts out with about a week before he announces that he has filed for divorce, right? Really, it's in the same week. He puts it out there that Joe Jonas, you know, his PR team tried to spin it that Sophie's out partying, you know, always working out, and Joe Jonas is at home, you know, babysitting the kids, like, you know, frustrated, but also being, you know, loves being like this, like, all-in dad, right? Days later, files for divorce, right? And everyone's like, okay, but the optics that like, and that's like, listen, Jonas, TMZ, clearly y'all are working together. The story that you're trying to spin doesn't work with what we've seen in this relationship for years, right? Like it just didn't, like, what? We've seen you out blind items have been about you, Joe Jonas, not Sophie. So Sophie, queen shit. Okay. She's like, I'm taking this on the chin. And what does she do? She's like, I was blindsided because we find out literally it's true that she found out that he filed for divorce on social media, just
What?
like everyone
What's
else.
all this shady divorce filing? Like, what
Just
the?
like everyone else.
Well,
I know,
it's
but
not
why
really
is everybody
shady.
being all shady?
You know, you
Like,
can
it's
have
not
these
like they were living.
conversations, and if you feel like your partner
Sure.
isn't hearing you, then
It's not like they're
that's how
living
you left with.
separately or anything, right? So then he files for divorce, and everyone's like, what? What? I can't believe it. Still, Team Sophie, because he's already tried that spin campaign and it's not working. Then she steps out with who? Taylor Swift. Okay, let's talk about the light, the connector and the Lego. And she's looking amazing. And Taylor Swift dated Joe Jonas, so she knows the bullshit, right? Little man syndrome. I feel like it.
Well,
So
I mean,
they
that's saying that my man didn't grow
they
since
get
Taylor, though.
like
All right,
some
team.
amazing press.
Yeah.
Okay, they get some amazing press, and then you find out how messy this divorce is becoming because now we find out Joe Jonas, because Sophie Turner's from England, Joe Jonas has taken possession of the children's passports, will not return them, so she can go home to visit her family in England. And now
I
things
don't
are
know.
contentious,
All right,
right?
team Joe Jonas. Let's hear your
Go.
thoughts on this.
Yeah, I'm a follow up on what you ended up with the passport. I wouldn't give them back if I was him either, because like she could get sneaky and try to go home and never come back. So I'm not about to give her the access to do that and take my babies away from me just because we're going through whatever we're going through. We're going to figure it out here in America, where this relationship started, where these kids been born and raised thus far. So also, like, I could kind of see his angle on why he would be a little frustrated, because like as he was telling it, and like after her spending years on the road with him and he got the whole family with him, he already grew up in a boy band where it was the whole family. So he probably started feeling like, you know what, this is how life's supposed to be, you know, like probably started feeling like, yo, I can do this, we can do this, you know, we just spend life on the road. So her going back to work might have been like a lot of friction in the household, as far as like, yo, I want to go back to work. Yo, no, I want you to stay home and travel the road with me and the kids. Like, so I can see how conflict kind of start beefing along that. And then as she take good jobs and continue more jobs, because she is a talented actress, so she gonna get gigs. She gonna get long and good roles. That's gonna keep them separate. And in turn, it's probably going to keep him more at the house, because he probably going to be like, I don't want to be on the road without my spouse. And it's me and the kids away from her. Like, and I got the family separated. Like, she probably don't want that either, where she away from her kids. So she probably won't even allow it. So it's probably like for him, where it's like, I can't even do what I love musically because she doing what she loves. You know, and then that becomes the dynamic in the household. And like even in regular households where couples aren't famous, that's a power struggle where it's just like, whose career is more important? You know, then you start thinking about finances. Well, who makes more money off their career? Who, you know, generates? You know, that can just become like a long thing that just recover from, where it's just like, it don't even got to do with if I love you or not. It's just like, we can't live together because what you want to do with your life and what I want to do with my life is two different things, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, those valid points, and it's definitely something real life couples deal with all the time
I gotta
too.
throw in the blinds. Can I throw in the blinds? It's very important.
Okay.
These are context.
Okay.
These are important. Okay.
Yeah.
Blind one. Joe, less than supportive after birth of second child. Sophie didn't want to go to events or be photographed. Despite this, she was seen at several events. Sources claim. Sophie made it clear she didn't want to be there. That's one. Infidelity. Now, these are the blinds that I had already seen, okay? Because like 2 months ago, one of the blinds was like, this so-called happily, you know, married spouse of a
Actually,
three-brother trio. Yes.
can we circle back to the blinds, because we're at 45 minutes and still have another breakup, writer strike, and a couple other things to cover.
And apologies of celebrities.
Yes. Oh, yes. Okay. So the other breakup, and we'll just touch on it really quickly, was Tiana Man?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, Tiana,
You're
yeah, that
Yeah.
broke my heart.
separated. That's
Yeah.
y'all
Separated.
went separated.
I'm actually hoping for a reconciliation between them
Same.
two
Yeah.
because I love them too. You know,
Right.
like
So
Yeah, they seem like a cute
and,
couple.
let's call them separated, not
yeah,
broken
Yeah.
up.
and I
Separated.
honestly think it's just career. It's because her thriving career, what she doing with the artists, all the newcoming rappers and singers, as far as their choreography, and his bubbling acting career. I think honestly that's the reason for the separation, just because they aren't spending enough time with each other. They just like, I'd rather you be out there free to do your thing than me, you know, being wherever I'm at, as far as I'm away from you, thinking, oh my God, yo, you're not
Yeah.
answering my
Yeah.
call.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Something
That's
like
the
that.
thing. That's why it's so hard, and that's why I don't judge like celeb relationships. Because even like you said, Dash, like real couples have these issues
Yeah.
too. But it's hard because it's like it's really all about the person you end up with, right? Because you could say like, okay, well, I want to be this powerhouse, so I'm going to find an equal powerhouse. So they get me, so they understand me, so they match my hustle, which is great. But now you're both hustling. Are you spending time together? Like blah, blah, blah. But then you could say like, okay, well, I'm going to be like someone's partner. You know how guys are always like, oh, I want my submissive whatever, my blah, blah, blah. But like, let's say you get that. That wouldn't be a problem if most guys held being a homemaker to the same regard they hold being outside of the house. My issue, because I have no problems if people want to be traditional roles, as long as you want to and you're not being pressured.
Mm-hmm.
I say do your thing, but the problem is most men don't hold it to the same regard. They don't view the wife staying home, raising the kids, raising the family at the same regards
Yeah.
or at the same level of respect as them
Oh,
leaving
that's
the
true.
house and making money. And that's where the problem lies in for
Mm-hmm.
me. But like the men, because some men do get that like the wife doing that
It's
is why
a
they're able to
job.
do their things and
Mm-hmm.
that it is actually a job that people make a lot of money
A
doing.
few of us do, though.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like the ones that get it and are in those good relationships, I'm all for it. Have your traditional roles. It just kills me that so often men will be like, oh, I want this, but it's just to have someone they can see as slightly lesser than. And which then, of course, if the woman rises up, they don't want that because they wanted someone to worship them. But I think
Especially,
there's someone for everyone. So if you want to be worshipped, there is someone out there who wants to worship you. Stop trying to force people who don't want to worship you to worship you. That's my problem. Is people trying to force people to be stuff they're not. Just find the person who matches what you want.
I feel like Tiana and Iman, they're like best friends, and that's why I
Yeah.
need this to
Yes,
be
yes,
like
yeah.
temporary, and
Agreed.
I'm hoping, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
So
can
you
tell they
mentioned
genuinely like
apologies
each other.
before.
Oh,
You mentioned
can I just
apologies before. Can we talk about that?
September? Let's give them, and I'll put it on Virgo energy, right? Because it didn't
Okay.
happen. We had a few hot ones right before. So we had, of course, Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis,
And
right?
for those of you who don't know, so their buddy from that 70s shows was on trial
They
for
wrote the letter.
sexual assault. Yeah, and
I'm
they
guilty.
wrote a letter. He's not guilty. They wrote a letter asking for leniency. I believe it's quite obvious they were allowed to be public. This does happen sometimes, like when
Is that
someone is
is it
going
all
away.
like that was revealed?
They get family and friends to write letters into the judge to defend their character, even if what they did was a heinous crime. So that's what they did. Then they came with it after the letter was made public because they literally have a foundation to help sex trafficking victims. They came out with this apology, which wasn't even
Thorn.
really an apology. I feel like they should have either truly apologized and said, I'm sorry for what I did, or they should have kept their mouth shut. Instead, they just came and tried to explain why they did what they did. No one wants to hear that.
An
Either you're
acknowledgement.
sorry or you're not.
An acknowledgement is
Right.
what was given. An
Right.
acknowledgement. Their organization was called Thorn. The person convicted of sexual assault is Danny Masterson, who was sentenced to 30 years in prison. And we just got to throw that out there because the punishment fit the crime. And
And that was only for 2 out of the 3
yes.
that he got
And
convicted.
Oh.
they wrote these letters, it very much diminished the victims. It very much was like, but he's a really good person and he's been a good person to us. The letters went public and their apology, and I'm going to move right to Drew's from this. Their apology, Who on their PR is saying, you know what I need you guys to do? I need you to go to a section of your mansion, and I need you to sit there, and I need you to actually look haggard. I need you to look tired. I need you to look like you just rolled out of bed. I want you to flip your phone up, and I want you to acknowledge. I want you to look sorry. Try to look sorry, okay? While you do this, and I want you to acknowledge it, but don't really say sorry.
Acknowledge it.
Don't mean
Right.
it. Okay, so
Don't-
first have Ashton, and they're like, we value the victims. Like, we care about victims. And we're so upset that we're having to acknowledge this. One bad acknowledgement. Let's move to Drew Barrymore, right? Because we have the strike,
Yep.
which is
Which
coming.
will be a great transition to the strike,
Yes.
so love it.
Okay,
Keep
so
the flow.
Drew Barrymore, she...
Wait, can I just start by saying, so giving the background also, there's the writer's strike, obviously, and Drew decided to bring the show back because she says that it's about more than just her and the writers, which is true.
Yeah.
Everything does have a large production team. Like the writer's strike affects the editors, the sound people, the camera, like it affects a lot of people. So you're actually having a lot of people be out of work because of the writer's strike. Well, honestly, it should have been a whole Hollywood strike, if you ask me,
Yeah,
because all of them are vastly underpaid. All of them are vastly underpaid. So anyway, so she was like, I'm coming back. And people are like, oh, no, you're not. So that led to the apology. All right, you can take it from there.
Right. So she's like, hey, I'm going to do this. It's for the people. The world needs this. And then we realized quickly, no, we don't.
We do not.
Quickly. So then she, same note, decided I've got to walk to one of my vintage rooms where I keep my watercolors and sit in front of this weird looking color behind me, blank wall. Again, just rolled out of bed. I'm sorry. I acknowledge that although I was told this was a terrible idea and that this feels very scabbish, and that I acknowledge I've been in the business literally my entire life. I know what a strike is, right? But I felt like the world needed it, and I'm pulling it back. Sorry, right? That was hers. It was, I'm sorry, but. And then we had right after that, really same time. Remember Oprah and The Rock? They also were like, Maui.
Yes. So the back history on that, there were some storms in Hawaii, and Oprah and The Rock went on TV and asked for donations. I have to say, though, honestly, I see both sides. I see both sides because, like, I get it, right? Like, they got a ton of money, give your money. But at the other time, we've always had celebs asking people for money. It's what they do. They used to have literally telethons where celebrities would answer your call and take your donations. Like, it's not anything new.
We got Kanye singing to national television, books don't like black people.
Dash, what are your thoughts on this whole Hawaii apology asking for money thing?
I don't like it. I'm team keep the money in our country at this point. You know, I don't like us giving money to Ukraine or Maui.
Dash,
I'm sorry. Like, we got a lot of things we got to fix in America.
We're talking about Hawaii.
Oh, well, I'm talking about like I mean, I understand Hawaii is part of the United States, but it's not like the, you know, the connecting states. Like, I'm talking about like the Detroit,
it's
the
like
Chicago.
Hawaii is like New York. If New York broke off into an island, it would still be New York part of America. Like, Hawaii's still a state.
Stolen. I mean, technically it shouldn't, but we don't even have to go there.
Right.
Maui needed aid, okay? Maui needed aid.
Dash is like, you're not
attached, but I don't consider it.
Dash says if you're not attached to the country, you don't count. Are you saying F you to Alaska too, Dash? Like, F Alaska also?
I mean, like they us, but they not us. Like, you know, like they like those step cousins.
You think of Hawaii like Puerto Rico, where they're a territory, not a state. But Hawaii is in fact a state.
All right. Well, my apologies to all my Maui people. You know. Well,
tell Obama you said that.
In that case, then I'm with The Rock and Oprah should kind of just come out their pockets this time, because we are already in a recession, dealing with COVID. You know, people are already taxed, overpaid. Like, I mean, like, I ain't really got it how I had it in '07 to, you know, be like, all right, you know what, let me look out a couple dollars. Like, now people are like, honestly, I look at some of the bums on the street sometimes and they ask for a quarter and I'll be like, can't do it today, brother. Like,
Right?
Times are
so,
tough. It's not a recession, guys. Let's call it what it is, guys. We're in a global depression. That's what they call a silent depression. They're not calling it what it is, but that's what it is, and that's why we were feeling it, and that's why when The Rock and Oprah came out there, it was tone deaf. It was tone deaf, and we both know y'all have properties in Maui. Stop playing in our face like there aren't investments
Can
and,
I
and
also
things.
say though,
Yeah.
like, as much as we're in a recession, and we are, knowing people are spending like 1,000 plus on concert tickets
Because I can't.
all over the country. Like, I don't,
And
I
did.
like, hey, I say do your thing. You know what I mean?
listen,
Do it. And
Beyonce ain't
if
enforcing
I could, I
nobody to
would.
buy a ticket. She
If
just
I,
said this is her price.
I'm just saying that, like, I hate the, like, we can't afford it. Not even necessarily in this situation,
No, well,
because
wait,
I get it. Like, they have all the
wait.
money, they shouldn't
I'm
ask
not
for
No,
help.
about to pick and choose the
but
luxuries of
here's the thing,
life
because
because we're in a recession.
it's not even
What's important to me
that.
might not be important to the next person.
And you're
Go
absolutely
back, go
right. You're
back
absolutely
to
right.
our submarine conversation. It's not like we're talking about people that are making 6-7 figures. Oprah and The Rock are billionaires. Remember that. Remember that, what that looks
Are they
like.
in the billions?
Oprah,
Well, Oprah certainly
Oprah's
is.
a billion. Okay,
Okay,
yeah.
The
so
Rock,
remember
So
what
she
the
doesn't need a
drop,
dime from anyone.
what the drop in the bucket looks like. What
Right.
that
Yeah.
looks like to Oprah. That's
Right.
why she's
No,
getting
and listen, I'm with you guys. I'm with you guys that it was
he
tone deaf of
considered it
them
as a
to
tax
ask.
write-off.
I just like, I get that it was tone deaf to ask. I just feel like I couldn't be that upset about it because they're just doing what people have always done, which is get on TV and ask people for money for stuff. And so I
And
was
then
just
she
like, whatever.
got on TV and she goes, I'm just so upset. It's just so upsetting that people are coming at this way. What we're lacking is connection. What people really need is connection. Again, Oprah, no.
Now
People
people
need
need
to
their
not
bills
live to
paid.
paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
Oprah,
Right.
I understand what you're trying to do.
We
I
get
really
it.
understand it. But the more, again, there is no content coming out. So the more you're doing this, the more we're asking, why are you on Epstein Island? You need to shut the fuck up and go in your nice house.
Right. You can just
Yeah.
tell that there are some celebs that haven't quite gotten what times we're in now. You know what I mean? Like, they still think we're in the times of where you can just say whatever and do whatever and people aren't going to come for you. And people will, in fact, very quickly come for you. And I know people go like, oh, cancel culture. We don't really have a cancel culture. No one's actually really been canceled. They go away for a while, then they come back. And even no matter what horrible thing they do, there's still people who are like, we still support them. Separate, blah, blah, blah. So, like, there is, but there isn't. The cancel culture is more along the lines of, like, you have to hear people talking shit about you for a while. That's as canceled
Well, do you
as
think
people get.
Russell Brand is canceled?
It's more like embarrassment culture then.
Yeah, it's more embarrassment culture.
Do you think Russell Brand is canceled?
No, I think he'll
Who Russell
be. I mean,
Brand, the
I
guy
feel like
who
he's
did
been
Get to the
canceled for a
Breach?
while, anyways. What was the last thing he really did?
Well, he just had all of those allegations dropped recently because he
Yeah.
became like a monk or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. I don't think that.
I don't think he can recover from this.
I don't think that he is high. I think
I don't know.
if this
He
was the
white,
height
so
of
he
his
could.
career, I think if this was the height of his career, he probably wouldn't be able to. But because right now he's barely talked about, which is why this is also barely talked about, it actually makes it easier for him to come back from it later because not as many people are hyped.
What about the Lizzo documentary on Hulu coming out?
That's going
We will
to get hot
discuss
for
that
us.
next month when it comes out.
Yeah, that's
We'll
going
discuss
to get
that
hot.
next month after we watch it.
That's going to get hot for us.
Yeah. And then so the last thing is the writer's strike. So I heard they made a deal, right? Is it supposed to end Wednesday?
I was supposed to, if all things check off and everybody agreed to it, as agreed upon, you know, it's supposed to be over then, and then we focusing on the actors at that point. So fingers crossed. Also, I'm hoping that the deal is favorable to the writers and they can properly compensated for the work that they do. You know, like this AI stuff is scary, especially when you talking about the streaming numbers and how often a movie could get streamed and how often you could get paid off of that. You know, because I was hearing a lot of the stories with the writers and just seeing how they was posting their residual checks being like 50 cent, 10 cent off of box office films. It's just like ridiculous. It's just like, all right, you know, enough is enough. Like,
It's
Oh,
absolutely
I
ridiculous.
have
And
one
writers are
more as
needed the
well.
most. Like, you don't have content without writers. And the fact that there's such a gap between how much the writers make, the people creating the content, and how much like the producers and the heads get are ridiculous. Like, writers should be getting rich off of movies if they're making rich movies or rich TV shows. So the fact that they're not, when they're the ones producing the words that are coming out, they're producing the scenery, all of that, crazy to me.
Maybe they can like trademark their writing or something.
ooh,
Yeah.
maybe.
So then
Yeah.
every time you know it's something said on the TV like a boom boom.
But that's kind of
You
hard to
probably do
trademark
for like little
words, though.
phrases, but
But one more thing, guys. I believe tomorrow's the 1st, and I think our government may be shut down.
Yeah.
why are they
Enough.
shutting down now? Why?
We know why.
Tell us, share with us, share with the people.
Because they feel like what they want in this new bill, they're not getting. They don't. This is non-political, but what they want to cut are all just like human services, like Medicaid, Veterans Aid, all these things. And they won't come
Have you working until you die?
an agreement. And because they made those funky deals to get Kevin McCarthy in there, he is expected to keep these promises that he made to these psychopaths. So it's just not working. So over 1 million people will not be getting paid, or not be, starting on the 2nd, really starting tomorrow, they will get paid. Congress will get paid.
Of course.
So we've got to remember that. They're also like focused on this false impeachment thing. It's ridiculous. And I'm going to close with is make sure you register to vote. I know it seems like it doesn't matter, but like really, like it's a fucking mess.
It super matters. It is a mess. It's a shame and it drives me insane. And I won't get on a huge soapbox about it, but the way how it is literally proven with statistics that increasing funding to human services is what helps to decrease crime, because you have people getting the resources that they need. Most crime comes from poverty. And even with that knowledge, people are still, let's throw all the money to like cops in the military and let's take all the money away from them. Part of the issue is that cops have too much to do. Like, part of defunding the police isn't about taking all of their money away. It's about taking some of it away to help in services where it's needed, which will also in turn help the cops. Like, instead of calling the cops when you have a mental health crisis, you can call the mental health line. And instead of like a mental health, like you can allocate resources where they're needed more. But instead, people are like, no, let's just give more money to this and less money to the things that need it. And then they wonder why there's more crime, why there's more issues. It's because you're actively taking away the things that have been proven. It's one thing if you don't know, but it's been proven that they work and the other one doesn't work. But yet we keep funneling money where it doesn't work because, like you said, we have elected officials who make promises to people to get the money they need because campaigning is so ridiculously expensive. So they make all these promises, then they have to uphold the promises they keep instead of what they should be doing, which is working for the people. It's very frustrating. So please go vote, register to vote if you haven't.
Please.
Vote. If you can, help your local officials, because the local votes really, really matter. And those local people also need your help. They need people doing the phones. They need people knocking on doors. I've worked a couple campaigns. It's actually fun. Working the polls. So
also, going into October, whatever city you're in, if there are food banks opening now, it is fall. If you've got like extra time, people actually need it. Pack up a lunch bag. They put them in paper sacks. You pass them on, and they're everywhere. They're that out there.
Amen.
When's your birthday?
October 22nd.
Ooh.
Cusp. You are a cusp.
I am a cusp. I'm right on the cusp. That means I'm all Libra charm with some Scorpio's fire.
I know. You share
neurotic. I can't.
Neurotic.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Dash?
No.
What are your last words,
on the same day. I share the same birthday. You
Who?
and Drizzy. You and Drizzy Drake.
Oh, cool, cool. Yeah, I
Albany.
have some good Libra celebrities. I'm okay with my mix. So Dash, what are your last words?
Ah,
What do you want to end with?
I'm gonna echo what y'all said. Go vote. Make your voice be heard. Make it loud and proud. And do something in the community besides loot. In the Philly streets, we've been having a lot of loot in the last couple of days because of unjust ruling that was placed down, and an officer got off scot-free for killing an unarmed black man. So people going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But if you let your voice be heard, hopefully we can create that change where that situation doesn't occur again. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vote in your local elections where it affects your mayor and your police commissioner or your sheriff. Those are voted in positions. We talk about the higher people, but the prosecutor, there's a lot of positions that affect those judgings and those rulings that you actively have a hand in that people don't pay attention to. So yes, be angry, be upset, but then figure out how to funnel that into something positive, because there's a lot of people and a lot of organizations in every neighborhood, no matter where you are, but especially like in Philadelphia, Delaware, Houston, wherever you are, that there are people who are looking for help. You just got to look for them,
And if you don't find it, make your own.
yeah.
There's that. All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining. This has been a great talk. I can't wait to do this again the end of October.
Right.
Yes.
I like this breakfast one.
I know.
How about everyone? I do too, actually. Maybe we should.
Ooh, let's drop our podcast.
Yeah.
I'll go first. Check out my podcast, available on all streaming platforms. It's called Baggage Claim. You'll see the logo. It's pink. Check it out.
Yeah. And as well, my podcast is on all streaming sites. It's called What You Mean Podcast, and it's also available on YouTube as well. So, check us out, support, follow both podcasts, and show some love, guys.
You?
Ronnie?
And I have two. I have Bold, Black, and Addicted to Bravo, where I talk about life stuff through the Bravo lens. And then I also have What's on Your Mind, where I talk about mental health things. Both have been on a little hiatus, but I'm about to bring them back, especially What's on Your Mind, because I normally do that as an IG live. And I haven't been doing them for a while, but I'm going to bring them back. And also, you guys, I have exciting news. Well, to me anyways. I finally passed 10,000 followers.
Woo!
I know it's not it's a huge deal, but it's a big deal to me, because that's when you can start monetizing on stuff, and there's all these barriers that just breaking the 10,000 unleashes for me. And as someone who does not have a job at the moment, it's helpful.
Yes, you spoke it into existence, and it's happening. So
it's happening. So if you out there know anyone who needs help creating content, I'm good at what I do. So hire me. Thank you.
Hey.
All right. Thanks,
Bye.
Bye.